So I just seen an alien abduction video that just recently happened. It might not be an abduction, it might be just a visitation or some sort of contact video, but I'm going to go over it and I'd like to know what you all think about this because it's kind of creepy and it's got a lot of very neat coincidences. So there's this lady, Baelin, I'll link her down in the comments, who is kind of goes over spirituality and just kind of like a day in the life. She just has fun TikTok videos. Anyways, she posted a video saying, I don't know what's happened, maybe an alien abduction, an alien encounter, can somebody tell me what's going on? And her story is pretty wild, and she even had a part 2 that I want to go over. I won't do that to you all. There will be no part 2. So to start this off, she wakes up, and the first thing she notices is her ring's missing. She has an Aura ring, and if you don't know what that is, it kind of is like a health tracker, like an Apple Watch or something like that, but instead of a watch, it's just a ring. Now, she never takes this thing off unless she's going to charge it or take a shower, so she never actually puts it on her nightstand, but she wakes up and finds it on her nightstand. And it's kind of odd. You might be like, well, she just put it on her nightstand before she went to bed and didn't know it. But it tracked her sleep. So from 10:49 to 10:38, she was tracked by this saying she was taking a nap. Now, she knows she fell asleep around 10:48 because she texted her friend and it showed like 10:46 and she fell asleep right after this. So she knows for a fact that she had her ring on when she fell asleep. It just come off in the middle of the night. No big deal. It could be a million different reasons. The coincidences kind of start adding up from this point on. Now she's kind of over the whole Aura ring ordeal, whatever. She's like, maybe I took it off. I don't know. It's just weird. So she moves on. She's getting ready to go to work. Whenever she looks out her window and she notices somebody that's just out of character for the area. Now she goes to check her ring camera, which she never does, but she's just checking it to make sure this guy isn't hanging out around her house. And she notices something odd. At 11:38, the time that her Aura ring said that she woke up from her nap, she notices a glitch in the video. Now, ring cameras take like, 5 second to 30 second to a minute footage, but it's usually the same amount of time no matter what. Well, at 11:38, it just glitches. It's on off. There's nothing there. It's just a weird glitch. That can happen, and it does happen. It's just weird that it lines up like that. She wakes up from a nap that she doesn't remember to take her ring off at 11:38, and 11:38 her ring camera glitches. Now she keeps going through her ring camera to see what's going on in the middle of the night, and at 3:48 there is a beam of light shining outside of her house. Now this is in her backyard, which is lined with mountainous forest region. There's no neighbors back there, and it's coming from her roof down. She says she doesn't have any spotlights or searchlights or anything like that, and the angle of it is just weird. Not only that, but it's not really shining into her house. So she checks her inside footage of her living room or kitchen, whatever, and she notices that her living room also gets lit up. Now the beam of light sticks around for almost an hour, like right at the 1 hour mark is when this beam of light leaves. So that's kind of weird. There's a couple coincidences happening already, and she's like, I don't know, this is just odd. And what's really odd is she remembers a dream she had the night before. Now she says sometimes she has pretty vivid dreams, but they're never extremely accurate. Like she can see herself in dreams, but it's not really like completely her. Little details will be screwed up. Well, this dream that she has, she's in a very sterile white operating room. She don't really know what's happening, but she looks down and a patch of her skin is missing. She said it's like a rectangular patch. And it's really weird because she notices all these little freckles that she has, and she's like, this is so detailed. I never have dreams like this. So the patch of skin gets put back on her arm, and she said it's like scarred up or whatever, but it just heals over. So at this point, she just posts a video asking, hey, what happened? This just seems odd because, she's kind of scared, and you can even hear it in her voice a little bit. She's not happy about this. Like she's kind of tore up, and she's not completely emotional. She's not tore up. She's just telling people what it is, but you can hear the little bit of a stutter or a high pitch in her voice. Now, a lot of people in the comments were like, this sounds like an alien abduction or whatever, and somebody said, you should get a hold of MUFON. If you don't know who MUFON is, they run a program where people can, submit their alien abduction stories, or if they have a UFO sighting, and they kind of go over all of it and see how legitimate it is, and kind of just make a catalog of these things. Now, she gets a hold of them. They call her, and she has like a 2-hour interview where they ask her tons of questions because they, that's what they do. So they go through this whole process, see what's going on, and she basically explains everything she did in the first video. Well, MUFON gets a hold of her, and they're like, hey, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but like that recording got screwed up. And she's like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. So the next day, MUFON gets a hold of her, and they're like, listen, that clip reappeared. I don't know where it went to or how it got taken out or anything like that. It was just odd, as maybe it was some little glitch. But they said what's really odd is there's 2 extra clips in this video. There's an extra 2 2-minute clips. So they go on to tell her that they hear these really weird sounds in it. It's almost like somebody is talking, but they cannot make out what is being said. And the guy at MUFON's like, listen, this is just odd. I mean, it's an odd alien story, and then you got this odd little glitch with our clips where like extra audio gets added. And I know most people don't mess with audio, but it just doesn't work like that. You don't get phantom audio just put into it like on top of your original audio. So that's just weird. But maybe they misplaced files or whatever. We can come up with a ton of reasons of what went wrong, but all the weird things just keep adding up. Now, she said after she gets done with this conversation, she's already tore up. She's freaking out, but weird things start happening to her. Now, these aren't like way out there kind of things, but it's the little things, and it's almost like she got put back into an alternate reality. And one of these, to start off, was her sister's email. She said her sister was having a hard time figuring out her email, and she's like, well, it's at Hotmail, and I know it's at Hotmail because who has Hotmail? It's a very odd email account to have, and you don't really hear it that often. So that's why she knows for a fact it was. She's like, no, it's definitely not. It's at Gmail. Well, come to find out, her email account ended in Gmail. She's like, that's so weird because she's had this for like 18 years. I don't know why it would have changed. And it's such an odd email account that I know that's what it was because who else has that? But it wasn't only that. She had a big ordeal with her blood type. So she knew that she was O negative. The reason that she knew this was because she was like a universal donor or whatever. And it kind of freaked her out because she heard stories of people being like, oh, they just let them die off so they can use their organs, which absolutely isn't true, but there's lots of rumors about that. So these rumors made her nervous, so she went and got the organ donor sticker taken off of her license. It was a big ordeal. Well, she started looking at her blood test and she was O positive. She's like, that is so weird. She's like, I'm such a hypochondriac whenever it comes to my blood types. I like to know what's happening with me all the time. And it was just odd, the little weird things. But like I said, it was just a lot of weird coincidences, a lot of weird things lining up that just seemed like, I don't know, maybe she was abducted and just put into the wrong timeline. Maybe she just has one wild story. I do not know. Now, if you was to ask me, I'd be like, yeah, this is 100% an alien abduction story. And the only reason I say that is mainly because of the aura ring. Because I've read other alien abduction stories where a guy was getting visited constantly and he used to sleep with earplugs in. And the one thing that would always happen is they would take the earplugs out and put them on his nightstand. He's like, I would never do this. Not only that, but I would never put them on my nightstand and make everything look orderly. I would just lose them in my bed if they fell out. And it's things like that that whenever you read multiple stories over and over and over, you see these little things start adding up. And this is one of them where you got the weird things happening to you afterwards. You had the dream, you have different timestamps lining up, you have glitches with electronics. It just seems to me that this is a pretty cool case of an abduction. Is it? I don't know. Could it be? Maybe. Like I said, I think it is. What do you all think? I don't know. I thought it was cool. And like I said, I'll link her down in the comments so you all can go check out her videos. And let me know what you think about the whole situation. I think it's cool. So anyways, I thought it was fascinating and I hope you all did too. And if you got any cool stories like that that's happened to you or whatever, I'll put my email on here so you all can send me an email. Let me know what happens because I'd like to read some of these and maybe I can make a video talking about them if it's, you know, like appropriate and like story. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.